Oh yeah, that's great. I'm definitely gonna need that. Y'all don't need to see none of that. What I got going on over there. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. What's going on, y'all? Trying to see if anybody's interested in me kicking off this new YouTube channel. Whether you're here tonight or you're seeing this in the future, believe me, you're in for quite the ride. Nothing is off limits here to talk about. I'm a comic, musician, entertainer, and I use the word comic loosely because when you got greats like Eddie Murphy and them cats, I'm comic because I think I'm funny. And a few people around me be like, boy, you know what? You should go on and get on stage. So that's this my stage. You did. But welcome to the Peep Game Show because I feel like everything I do gonna give you a little game to get you through, you know what I'm saying, and to survive the lanes along the way in life. So all this stuff that I'm talking about is just have a free form discussion about, things that pertain to, real life situations without having to be afraid of free flowing ideas and being judged. Because I don't judge. I know I'm wrong. So I ain't got no reason to be trying to act like nobody else is. You know what I'm saying? So none of that. Okay, enough of the serious crap. None of that. Let's talk about what's really going on, right? This channel is dedicated to education, arts, entertainment, like I said, to peep game, to learn something. So tonight I just want to have a little introduction to the channel and what I'm on, going live, learning what's going on with the platform, and doing my very best to not get a strike on my first night out. You did. But I just want to talk to everybody and see what's going on, man. Talk about what's going on in the world. What's up? What's up? What's going on out there? What's going on out there? We got Donald J. Trump, president. What did he say? You're president. We got Trump as the president, you know, and and I'm gonna tell you something right now about this channel. I don't love Donald Trump. I don't hate Donald Trump. I don't love no politics. I don't hate any politics. I love my people. I love America. I love God. And those are the principles that I live by. So all this other stuff, I don't get caught up in arguing with, my brothers and sisters about what's going on in politics because I remember the days when after the election, we all went back to just being Americans and we loved each other and it was all good. That's the one thing about Donald Trump. And I'm not a Trump hater because everything he does isn't bad, but I'm just paying attention to some of the things that's going on in the world. And I think he perpetuated some of that. You're a Republican, so I don't like you. So you're a Democrat, so I don't like you. And I think that I remember growing up and in those days where after the election, we still all came together behind our president and together as a country. And that's kind of what we did. But now I don't know what this is now, boy. I swear every day they should be going crazy. Every single day. Oh, these headphones. Dre, send me some headphones, man. I need some big ones for a big head person. So, I got a pretty interesting perspective on the whole thing. And then the California fires, because, I moved up here from Chicago. The California fire is crazy because, man, sorry, I'm getting a text. The California fires was crazy because it's like it went and wiped out all the rich people neighborhoods. Like it didn't go to Compton, it didn't go to Watts, it didn't go to it didn't do none of that. It went and like touched like wealthy areas like the Pacific Palisades. I'd be curious to see what the medium income for the Pacific Palisades is, and Malibu Hills, and it's crazy because these people lost everything, everything, right? And I think they lack sympathy a lot of times because they figure all these people are just rich, so they got resources and money to do whatever they need to do to build their thing back up. And that could be true. A lot of these people were very wealthy. These are some of the most, I mean, not only some of the most wealthiest areas in California, these are some of the most wealthiest areas in the world, right? These people were, I'm talking about those places where, Gwyneth Paltrow's and the ultra wealthy people live, the Bill Gates and the the Jack Nicholson type cats. And I don't know if these people actually live there, Denzel and them, but these are the level of people that live there. The studio executives that pay those type of people is the people that live in these type of places, right? So Malibu, Chicago, I'm sorry, Malibu, California, up in the hills, the Pacific Palisades. And it's like it's tripped out because people didn't have a lot of sympathy. It seemed like online I was looking at a lot of the stuff that was going on with people getting drugged and people just having an overall lack of sensitivity because it's like, oh, they rich, and almost like some people were even to the point where they was rejoicing over what was going on, right? And for me, that was a little crazy because you can't some things go beyond money, man. Some things really do go beyond money. Imagine going to work one day, normal morning, get up, take a shower, do your tie, hey, I'm fly, jump in your Tesla, whatever you're driving to work that day, and you go to work, and then you never get a chance to see your house again. It's gone. You get a call saying, hey, is anything you want me to grab? Because we got to go. And the next thing you know, everything is gone. And though you may have resources to build everything, there's certain things that are beyond money. What about grandma ashes that was on the mantle, on the fireplace? Shit. Grandma ashes that was sitting on the mantle. They gone. Grandma burnt twice. They didn't burn grandma up again. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. There's certain things that you can't they go beyond money. They can't be replaced. Yeah, you can replace a house and material things and things like that, but you know, to just think that these people are going through that. So my heart goes out to those people that's dealing with that stuff. But also, I just want to talk about the climate of the world and looking at what's going on with the politics and the political landscape and all that with your boy, you know, Donald Trump and the administration and Elon Musk. Like it's like everything is just moving so fast, so fast. Criminal justice, the woke culture, everything's like coming to a clash. And I want us to be careful because I see us getting into these corners of what's good and what's bad and who's good and who's bad. And when you start doing that and forgetting to judge, God is the only person that really judge who good and who bad because we all bad. Okay, trust me, we're all bad. So when we as men and a human race start deciding who's good and bad, it ain't never a good place. So I'm just thinking about the way the world feels. It's tripped out because after those few years of Biden, I have forgotten what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? Like with this new administration, it just feels like there's just a constant level of tension going on. And I would implore everybody to take a deep breath and come step back from the media, and like try not to consume too much of that stuff. And if you do consume it, try to consume it in a balanced way where it's not too much right wing, too much left wing. Like really, balance everything and understand that at the end of the day, we're all Americans. That's the part we seem to have forgotten, you know, and I want us to get back to that. But my background, my family's been in arts and entertainment and media and done a lot of things and educated a percentage and employed a percentage of the west side of Chicago at one time and done a lot of things. But I'm just looking as the new generation. I moved out here to California, just wanted to change it up a little bit, switch some things up and explore, get out of Chicago. I was so comfortable in Chicago. I wanted to come out here and just, see things different. And it's crazy because I moved out here 3 years ago, and now the Kendrick Lamar and the Drake beef and just seeing how just the difference in Chicago and California, how they stick together. I love what Kendrick Lamar is doing, and as far as sticking together and showing a spirit of togetherness. Um, Not only as Black folks, but as Americans. I know a lot of the white folks losing their mind, or some of them don't see it. But really, if I know the hip hop messages and the way that it's delivered, sometimes the nuances of it can be hard to decipher. But When I look at what he's doing, he's really coming from a place of togetherness and um, a place of bringing people together. But I said all that to say that we need to get back to some of that. You know, Drake and Lamar and Kendrick Lamar are beefing, but that don't mean we as fans should be beefing with one another. We take this internet stuff and this stuff too far, and it's not even real, guys. This stuff is not real. Don't get caught into what record companies and streaming companies and all these people are doing to perpetuate this narrative, because that's how they make money. They make money by getting us into an uproar. But we have to understand that when you start to engage with this spirit of chaos and the spirit of lack of trust and go down that road, it starts to make everything feel weird. And what's crazy, people like Kendrick Lamar, people like Drake, they have a massive influence on culture and a massive influence, whether you like it or not, sometimes on the way that things feel because of their influence on the media. Especially when you look at an artist, in a situation where you're affecting the world by performing at the halftime show at the Super Bowl. People don't get paid for performing at the Super Bowl, but that's because they tend to profit in the long run off of the level of exposure that you get from being at the Super Bowl and having that opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So with that, you want to keep it in perspective and understand it. It's still a big show. This is not the true way that things are. It's just a big show, man. Don't fall for just a big show. Your life is your life. We don't have Kendrick's life. We don't have Drake life. They beefing. These are cats that are beefing for position. And hip hop beefs is just silly. Like, you look at this thing that's going on with Big Meech and 50 Cent, which just kind of it's heartbreaking a little bit. I ain't gonna say it break my heart, because I don't know if I care enough for it to actually break my heart. My heart is with my children. But as a father, I see how it seems like when Big Meech came home, he kind of destroyed. No, let me back up, because that's harsh. I don't have the right to say that. I think when Big Meech came home, maybe he underestimated the way that this new media game works and the way that things can spiral so quickly. Depending on who got the most followers or who got the most influence, or which way the culture is shifting at the time. Because I ain't gonna lie, I saw that coming. Like, maybe he didn't understand because he didn't have access to media when he was locked up and things like that to really understand 50 and just getting dribs and drabs. Maybe he didn't get it, but 50 Cent, after doing what he did for your son, putting him in acting classes, and let's face it, he went to bat for your son in a way that Hollywood executives don't typically do. They did it for Marilyn Monroe and women like that, because they had ulterior motives and they did things like that. But 50 didn't come at Lil Meech trying to make him less than a man. He just saw the vision. And what I understand why 50 is so passionate, because he loves hard. Like, he seems like the type of cat that doesn't let many people in. So when he lets you in and then he feel like you go left, it's just affects him differently. He's a lot. You can't reach the level of creativity and the level of artistry that he has reached without being a sensitive person. Period. It's just not the way that it works. And I don't mean that makes him like soft, but being sensitive. Like, he senses things. He has and the way he receives things. So I can imagine him. I could just see 50 in one of his palatial estates one morning, waking up. He didn't made sure Meech family and Lil Meech sent him through acting class, let him star in a show that he did not have the credentials to star in, um, and wake up and see him with that picture with Rick Ross, his arch nemesis. These guys been in legal battles. They've been in like real serious situations. And I don't have to tell you how serious the hip hop stuff is now. Okay. So he wake up, he see this guy in a picture with his arch nemesis after he done pulled his son up. Right. And I want you to really think about this. A lot of y'all who may not know who Big Meech was, Big Meech and the BMF family, they rose to fame because Big Meech was a convicted and got a sentence of about 30 years or so for conspiracy and moving massive amounts of um, you dig what I'm saying? Truckloads, boatloads, with heavyweight people, heavyweight players, and he ended up doing some time behind it and took the 30-year plea. And just recently, he ended up coming home after doing like 20 years, right? Well, he was such a massive hip hop iconic figure that 50 Cent, who had now made significant segue into the television world, took Big Meech's story about the BMF family, right? Which we'll get off to that at some point. It's too involved to get into that. But Big Meech was his name and his clique was called BMF, Black Mafia Family. So Big Meech went to jail, came home, but while he was locked up, 50 Cent took Big Meech's son, who was just out here. Big Meech went to jail, left his son out here. Okay, black man go to jail, leave his son out here dangling, which is a whole nother level. Once I said with this podcast, we keep it 100 and funky. We're not gonna sugarcoat nothing, and that's what it is. He chose the streets over his family, and that's what it is. Because at some point, him, me, and everybody have to know when you taking those type of risks in life, you know that you have the capabilities and the possibilities of leaving your children in harm's way, and you still decide to make that choice. Never mind the influences that was going on in your life at the time. You still decided to make that choice, and you made a choice that ended up with your son dangling and being in harm's way. So it's funny because now check this out. So now the BMF wasn't a small organization. This was like massive. They spawned huge stars like Jeezy, and like they were known for coming into clubs and buying out the whole bar, like spending 50, 60, 70, 100,000 in the club. It was nothing. When they would go from coast to coast, they would be driving Bentleys and Lamborghinis and shipping cars and doing all this. But apparently that entertainment company was just a ruse for the things that were going on up under it that was facilitating and making the money to do all this stuff. So yada yada yada. That's like the background on BMF. So fast forward, Big Meech and his brother Terry Flannery, they go to jail because they was the heads of this BMF thing. Locked up, ain't nobody really looking out for him. He done fell off. He still got solid respect because he always was a man of respect that had the reputation of standing tall. So he still had the respect of the streets. But unfortunately, like so many times, cats that end up going to jail, and I grew up with a lot of these cats. We'll get into that too. These cats that end up going to jail after making these massive amounts of money in the streets and these names and these reputations, they leave and go away. Not a money stop. Now you left your children out there, your family with this certain lifestyle, but not a money stop. So that lifestyle rapidly goes down, right? So now your son, Big Meech, was left with a reputation and your name because he's Little Meech. So all the negative influences they want to front him this and front him that and give him this and give him that because of his reputation and being attached to the legendary Big Meech. Hey, man, y'all, I'm BMF. I made sure little buddy, I give him this and give him that. Right? Typical. Putting Little Meech in harm's way, going down and to repeat that same path you did. Well, here comes 50 Cent. He didn't come and say, front you this and bring me this back or do this. And he said, you know what? Okay, I see what you're saying. I'm digging your story. I'm feeling it. You're not really an actor, Lil Meech. So he approached Big Meech, who was the head of BMF. He talks to his son and he allows him to be the head star in the show that he's developing called BMF. The kid can't act. He ain't never been an actor, nothing. 50 Cent sent him to school, let him learn how to act and do all this stuff, right? Puts him in the show, helps his family finally. After all this time, Big Meech always wanted to be in the entertainment game and be accepted. Now he's accepted. He's a household name, not only on the street side, but it's starting to have that smell of legitimacy, you know what I'm saying? Because now 50 messing with Hollywood, and Hollywood, the way they get through twisting stuff up, they make the wrong thing seem like the right thing. So now Meech in the game, right? Lil Meech's a star. He getting real money now. He riding around Hollywood, Lambo trucks, 50 Cent with acting school, you know, and he needed more acting school because at the end of the day, he got that role because 50 advocated for him, right? And I'm painting this picture because I want y'all to understand why 50 really acting like this. It's not like he just acting a fool. You know how many actors it is that he could have got to play that role that was light skinned with curly hair? You know what I'm saying? But he advocated for him, invested in him, advocated, invested, advocated, invested, advocated, invested. Put his neck on the line, got him the part. Fast forward, now it's time for his father to actually get out of prison. Father comes home. There's another rapper, Rick Ross, which is interesting because Rick Ross, you get with somebody. No, we're not going to get into that. Because honestly, Rick Ross he never did nothing to me, and he have been really good to some people that have been good to me at the same time, right? So I do my best to stay neutral in all that. So, but I understand Big Meech comes home, and there was a lot of animosity between 50 Cent and Rick Ross. Big Meech come home again with Rick Ross talking about his new concert. They finna do a concert, BMF this, BMF that. And he stands next and takes a picture with 50 Cent, arch nemesis. Now, mind you, 50 Cent just got through developing his son, picking him up and lifting him up deliberately when he didn't have to. See, that's why it hurt so much, because he didn't just lift him up, he lifted him up and he didn't have to, right? Like that's the killing part about it. Like he could have left Buddy where he was. He could have got any actor. He could have got Juicy Smouye or anybody to play that role. You dig what I'm saying? But he didn't do that. He did such a righteous thing that I would love for someone to reach back and grab my kid and do that and put millions in their pockets. So what they did with it on them, but he put him in a situation to get millions, man. And then you come home and the first thing you do is connect with 50 Cent arch nemesis, like a guy that they've been back into it in real legal court battles and baby mama dramas and all this like real stuff. And if you know anything about 50, he's kind of unforgiving, right? With regular shit. He unforgiving with regular shit. So how you think he finna act out of heat and went out of his way to help your son get in the position that he never was supposed to be in? Let's face it. Lil Meech supposed to end up being where Big Meech was, statistically. 50 Cent recognized that and was like, you know what, let me change this up a little bit. Everybody eating off this story, Jeezy eating, everybody eating BMF, everybody, man, that was a beautiful thing that 50 did. And, people dog 50 and like, not even mad at him because of the way that he dealt with Lil Meech. But if you really think about it, man, he really went to bat for that kid. I live in Hollywood. I deal with these people. They don't move like that. 50 put a lot on the line to see that Lil Meech had that part. And he did it because it was the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, it didn't make him or break him. He did not have to do that. He didn't. That show was going to be a success if we had never known who Lil Meech was. So as a father, for Big Meech, I'm sorry, to not peep that like that and understand what was really going on, it made me a little leery of him as this iconic strategy guy that he had been built up to be. Because in order to navigate the level of dealings that he had been dealing with before he went in, he would have had to been a strategist. Or was he? And it made me think, you know what? Maybe it wasn't, because I'm watching how Buddy moving and I'm thinking to myself, what's usually this quiet guy. He wasn't never really quiet. He was on billboards and all that, but he had a brother, Terry. And I'm starting to think to myself, maybe it was really Terry that was the business guy that kept things like this while Meech was. Because from what he's exhibiting to me, it ain't showing me that he was no type of strategic type of cat. Because right now, the move he just made, you could have been Ray Charles and saw that coming. You didn't have to be a strategic player or a super smart person. All you had to do was do your minimum research on 50 Cent and know that move was not going to turn out well for you. Minimum. Because you see how 50 get down when he beef with you. I'm West Side Chicago, right? I don't want to be for 50. When I came to Hollywood, people ask me all the time, bro, why you don't take your project to 50? Why you don't take your project to 50? I said, man, I just don't think that could potentially end real bad. You know what I'm saying? Because every man must know his limitations of what he want to deal with. And I know I'm gonna blow 50 Cent. I'm gonna definitely get on his nerve. He definitely gonna get in the wrong situation. We so real, it'll start out great. But then what happened, you know what I'm saying, when things go, you got to watch people's character, you know what I'm saying? Watch people's nature. And I just thought to myself, he was too powerful for me. If he got out of hand on me, what would I do? You know, Chicago's one thing, but being new to LA and like when you're dealing with a cat like 50, you know, you got to be careful with that type of power because it's real power. And it can be very dangerous. Okay. And this situation is showing it. So he miscalculated all that. He comes home, get with his arch nemesis, and 50 loses it. He lost it. My heart went out to Lil Meech when 50 went at him like that because he asked him, man, what you talking about? Next season. You know, after Big Meech posted the picture with him and 50 nemesis Rick Ross promoting this BMF concert, it seems like that's when what triggered 50 Cent to be like, oh yeah, really? Okay. Then he started shooting all this stuff, Big Screech, posting memes of Big Meech is a rat, all this conversation about Tammy Cohen, which we'll do a whole nother conversation in. Because now 50 is saying that Big Meech snitched, but he's saying he didn't necessarily snitch directly, but he used a third party person, Tammy Cohen, to snitch for him. And then plot twist, Tammy Cohen is the person that owns Big Meech's life rights that 50 Cent is doing all the business through while Meech is in jail. It's a cluster. Man, listen, Hollywood is just different, okay? 50 didn't just find out about this stuff. He been doing it, but he been playing chess, which is goes to show you some of the stuff that's going on with Diddy. These people know what's going on around them. They just wait until they want to use it for their advantage. 50 knew, but it's Machiavelli type structure. You know what I'm saying? He waited until it was advantageous for him to bring this to light. Pay attention. Pay attention. You think he just learned that this morning? He been dealing with Tammy Cohen. He had to deal with this lady for the longest time just to get the show started. So now, and 50's such a mad scientist, all he got to do now is flip the BMF script from a law enforcement point of view. Get with Tammy. Now, Big Me's life rights ain't nothing because he got Tammy right there with him. Hey, what's your story? Let's talk about what happened with what you did. Now they twisted, so now they didn't show what happened from the BMF side, which is everybody talked about that story. Everybody did that. But 50's such a genius. He saw, well, what about reversing it like this in the Trump era? Law enforcement side of the story and do with that and look at that and the market for that. Not that he's supporting, but if there's a market for it, true market for it, brilliant. Like 50 is a different type of animal. I don't know if he's lucky or smart. Someone told me I'd rather be lucky than smart. Now I'm anxious to see what BMF finna do because he already said he put the kibosh on BMF, the old one. Ain't no more Big Meech, Little Meech. I think now I'm anxious to see if he gonna start flipping it and come from a law enforcement angle. So now Big Lil Meech ain't no star no more because they don't need him. He might get a check here and there, you know, but ain't no more. You know, if they flip the script like that, see Hollywood dangerous. They'll write you out like that. Them studios will take your story and go a whole nother way and keep on making money and act like you never was no part of it. And Big Meech miscalculated that. He miscalculated the power that 50 had amassed and these people that were powerful players in play, making money with your life rights and doing all those things, but they were making money, man. And they were making sure they say you made 5 million. I don't know because I didn't count your money. I don't true G's don't never count nobody money. That's not my job to count your money. But whatever money he made, I don't know what the concert. Well, now in hindsight, the concert didn't make nothing because it was canceled. So you put whether it was $50, $100, 100,000, or the 5 million on the line for nothing. That don't seem like a great strategist to me. So, which makes me think, was it Terry all the time? That was the big man behind this, the brain of the thing. Because that wasn't nothing about when you have come home has shown me that you are this mastermind cat to put this thing together. In fact, when you look at the court documents, it seemed like you was the cat that kind of made it while your bro was like, bro, calm down, slow down. Why are you doing all that? We chilling. I'm up in the California hills living in my mansion. Like, dude, slow down. And now I'm starting to see it because the all them years you did, this is what you plan to come home to do. You did all those years, and this is what you plan to come home to do. To get with Rick Ross. No one, I'm just trying to understand it, man. Anyway, so yeah, this thing is crazy. And then you got Kendrick Lamar, Super Bowl. MAGA went crazy. They say wasn't no white folks at the Super Bowl. So it's funny because DEI is cool when it work in their favor. What we were supposed to put some DEI white dancers in the Super Bowl. We put the best dancers in the Super Bowl, I'm sure. It's DEI work okay when it's the other way around. I don't know. Everybody bad because it wasn't no white dancers. Really, if you really okay, whatever. I'm not even gonna go there because I know some fantastic white dancers. Rhythm and movement have no color. But if you look at Kendrick's circle and the Compton stance that he was looking to put forward, I don't know how many white dancers in Compton. You know, but the creative expression was a beautiful thing. And if you looked at it, it wasn't really about black. It represented it from a black perspective. But the brilliance in it is that the concepts and ideologies that he was promoting was really all American. Freedom of speech, red, white, and blue coming together. That red and that blue thing was bringing that gang thing together. Because coming from Chicago, I never really took it as serious as it is till I moved out here and wore a blue jacket to the liquor store one night to get me some beer, and life changed. That's something else I'll have to talk about. So just the dynamic in which people live from city to city, state to state, ocean to ocean is just different, man. So that's why we can't never judge what people deal with. Because I would have never thought that was going to happen. Just because I decide I'll pick up and wear what's clean every day. You'll see me on this thing. I'm gonna wear suits some days. I'm gonna wear sweaters. I'm gonna wear whatever. I might shave. I don't care. I'm not coming to YouTube to be phony. I'm just not finna do that. I'm coming here to kick it at you, talk to you. I hope maybe somewhere I might have a fan base that might understand where I'm coming from. But I swear, man, more than anything, I just want my sons to be able to look at this and kind of have an idea who their father was. I got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. I ain't trying to really do all that at the end of the day. I ain't gonna tap dance too hard for pancakes. I'm not gonna do all that. I'm not gonna. I'm a man of God, and that's first and foremost. Most. I like to have fun, and this the most serious you're gonna ever see me. So I'm really kind of getting this out the way because I think after seeing this video, y'all might think I'm a little bit more serious than I am. But I'm probably gonna get canceled because the way my mind work, I'm finna do something stupid. Like the creativity level is like through the roof. Get ready, get ready. But what I am is fair, and I look at a life perspective because I understand that you can't judge anyone because different people come from different places. You have to really understand that your perspective is just your perspective, not the only perspective. So yeah, welcome to the Peep Game Show, and I'm up in here, and the stock market crash, and it seemed like Donald Trump and all his boys, they just create all this chaos in order to make the stock market crash. Then they buy low, then they buy it all up, then they fix a couple things, and the stock market rise back up. Then they sell high, and they make all this money. You know what I'm saying? Y'all talking about why Snoop Dogg went to the crypto ball and performed for the president. Well, did y'all notice what happened the next day? Did you notice what happened the next day after the crypto ball? Donald Trump launched the Trump coin, where they made about 50 billion with a B dollars overnight. Well, to have been in that room the night before would have been life changing. So I can't condone what Snoop did, but I understand because everybody had a price. And I can't say that I would have been able to tell them, no, I don't want to meet with the top crypto minds in the world, because you guys just look at it as performance. It's simplistic. But for someone like Snoop Dogg to have the opportunity to get in a room with people that can make life changing wealth for not only him but his generations, that is a father and a man that has given a lot to the game. He a grandfather now. He has more years in than he has ahead of him. He couldn't afford to tell those type of crypto billionaires no. It was a chance of a lifetime for him to do probably what he did. So who knows what those conversations were like the night before, and at that crypto ball. But I know that it may have been a hard thing to resist for somebody like Snoop, especially when you look at our community. We don't stick together. So what he resisting for? We not uplifting and trying to put that type of money in his pocket. He got to take care of his kids. Right? Do I agree with this position? Not necessarily, but I can say I understand it, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to money. We just think with our emotions and just stupid. We got to stop doing that. So I understand. Soldier Boy, when Soldier Boy gonna get a chance to get into the room with brilliant minds like that? And at this relevancy stage, okay? Not talking about what he did in the past, because Soldier Boy was a monster. Like, he's like the Forrest Gump of hip hop. Like, timing was everything for him. So you can't take anything away from him because he did what he did. Soldier Boy up in his hole, watch me and watch me roll. Ho. I was cranked that month. I was on that too. Man, crank that, bro. You better crank that, bro. What you playing? Okay? That was a long time ago. A lot of money been wasted, a lot of money been spent, a lot of kids been born. Somebody call you and tell you, man, you know what? Come hang out with us, man, the crypto billionaires. We finna make all this crypto stuff. We got a master plan. Come on, perform tonight, and hear a couple things might help you out. How do you say none of that? I know Snoop was in there 80 degrees when I tell it, please raise up off these in you, because you get none of these at ease. I know he hurried up and got the rap and give me the mic. You dig? For real. Give me the mic. Because what y'all do? See, this is the danger when you put money before everything else. And that's unfortunately what we have done. We this horror culture, women with the clothes out and just butt naked on, and it just the free flowing porn and like things that have been prevalent, but now it's just wide open. It's just like regular now. We uplift, I hate the Cardi B's, the Nicki Minaj's, these on one side queens, but on the other side, they're perpetuating a certain stereotype, right? And it's one side and it's entertainment, but the way it's presented, it ain't balanced because they don't see the other side. So now all these women, for them, victory is to be the Nicki Minaj and the Cardi B, and that ain't it, Joe. It's just not. There's another side. Like, my mother was not Nicki Minaj or Cardi B, but she employed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and employed and educated hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, probably thousands. So where's the balance of the Nicki Minaj? But then there's the Maya Angelos, and there's the this and the that. There's and the music industry just went from bad to worse with the things that we uplift. So yeah, I said a whole lot of nothing tonight, and maybe when you look back on this, it'll give you an idea of who I am. But moving forward, I don't want to be this heavy. I just want to do some shorts, kick it, talk about some of the stuff that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Kick it with my people, and my people, I mean the human race. Um, that's what I'm about. I just want to uplift my people, man. So, with that, welcome to this journey that I'm about to embark upon. You let me know anything you want me to talk about. And I guarantee you, it is going to be quite the ride. All right. Tap in with all my Instagram, my all my handles is at the Peep Game Show. Right. Instagram. I know I got some other Instagram. I keep saying Instagram, but what's the other one? Facebook, right? At the Peep Game Show. YouTube, and just subscribe. You know, I'm telling you, it's finna go crazy, G. So and I'm looking at all this stuff. Big homie CC. Man, he went to Providence St. Mail. I went to Providence St. Mail. That's interesting. Like just all these different nuances of things that's going on. My mama and Kanye mama working together. And me and Kanye ended up having projects together. And shout out to Malik Youssef. And that man been nominated for 40 Grammys and have the honor of working with him. And he's won about 8 of them too. Just this story is unbelievable. And it could not have been possible without God. So I give honor to God first on this channel. Okay. Remember that. Because I'm gonna be wow. So remember that. I'm kind of apologizing in the beginning. So when I get to, you know what I'm saying, don't act like he ain't say he was sorry, because I ain't gonna keep saying I'm sorry. But I'm saying it tonight because when I get down into my thing, you'll understand it, right? You're gonna understand a lot. You're gonna understand why I can flip back and forth from being little ghetto to being a little eloquent. It was my upbringing. It's a lot of side stuff, you did. So let's have some fun, man. The Peep Game Show, checking out peace, love, and everything. Ah.